Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be doing a Q&A for you. So I took to Twitter and I posted and asked for questions for this channel. Now, to start off, the majority of questions that I did receive were about my children, which was what I wanted to avoid in this Q&A. We talk about my children and include my children every single day on Life with the Jays, and I decided I would like to do a Q&A that did not pertain to my kids, and my kids would not be in this video here on this channel. So I decided to reiterate said Q&A, and now we have received some amazing questions, and we are going to jump into those. And the very first one, it comes from Hope, and Hope asked, did you learn any instruments? And if yes, have you done any gradings? She plays the violin. So Hope, that's amazing that you play the violin. I love the sound of the violin. I think it's amazing. But for myself, yes, I have learned several instruments. I am self-taught on each of those instruments. And no, I have not done any gradings on any of my instruments. So I do play piano, saxophone, clarinet, bass clarinet, and flute. So those are it. I am dabbing now in guitar, acoustic guitar, not electric, and hopefully I will be decent at it here shortly so that I can start putting some music together. That would be kind of where I'm headed with that. Okay, so Casey asked, do you ever talk to the people you were with in the military? There is only two people I talk to now that I did talk to then, that I was part of the military with, and those are the only two people I do talk to. And I wish that there was more of them, but most of them have been kind of scattered around the country or are overseas. So hopefully we'll make connections again. I do have several of them on Facebook, but as of now their activity on Facebook has not existed. I guess you'd say it has ceased to exist. So right now that tells me they're more than likely overseas in an environment where they can't get on. So two people I do keep in contact with. All right, the Navarro couple. This is from Juan, and Juan says, what am I to you? Juan, you're like a son to me. You are just an amazing young human, and I love being able to spend time with you. You're a great kid. Sarah and you have really connected as like a brother and sister. You're super protective of her, and I have to say, I thank you so much for stepping up to the plate and being a part of her life and making her feel like she's definitely wanted in the friendship circle. And so thank you for being a part of our lives. We love you, Juan. All right, Gemma asked, what is your favorite holiday? My personal favorite holiday is Halloween. I get asked this a lot. I love Christmas, don't get me wrong, and I love like other holidays, but Halloween, there's just something about Halloween that I truly enjoy, and I think it's mostly because the people that I genuinely love, that I had made super connections with, have passed on. And so that's a holiday that I look back on in celebrating the life that they had. As most people know, Halloween is a little bit different culturally than it used to be, but I look at Halloween more of a celebration of those who have passed and the lives that they lived. So that's the reason why Halloween has become my absolute favorite holiday. Stephanie has asked, what's your favorite movie? Now, if I had to only pick one movie, I would have to say it would be The Haunting, which has Liam Neeson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Lily Taylor, and I forgot the other guy's name. Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson in it. But if I could pick multiple things, so if for a singleton movie that has not had any kind of follow-ups or prequels or anything like that, it would be The Haunting. If I had to pick a saga or said grouping of movies, I would say the Twilight Saga, all 5 films. And then if I had to pick a Disney movie, my Disney movie choice would be Bambi. Kat has asked, when you get alone time, what do you like to do? And also, what is your favorite craft to do? So whenever I get alone time, which isn't very often, the one thing I absolutely enjoy doing during that alone time is just reading. Taking the time to sit back with a hot cup of tea and reading, undisturbed, without anybody coming in. That is my absolute favorite thing to do. My favorite craft to do, and I know this might not sound like the normal thing, but my favorite craft to do is write music. I love to sit back and get on the keyboard and just play things out until I find something that works. And I write that out, I put it on manuscripting paper, and I just go through it. That is one of my absolute secondary favorite things to do. So reading and music are kind of hand in hand. Usually when I'm reading, I end up getting sensations and feelings and emotions that usually are what ends up leading me to writing something musically. So that's those are my two favorite things. Okay, so, oop, I can't go that far up. Allie has asked, I thought I would add some humor. So would you rather have one really big tooth or a bunch of really tiny ones? Allie, this is a really good question and super funny, but I have a really easy answer for that. I would rather have a lot of really tiny teeth. Reason being is, one, I love to eat, even though I don't eat very often, but I do love to eat, and I love trying new foods, and having one big massive tooth would super interfere with that. You wouldn't be able to properly bite into food, you wouldn't be able to bite into a really good piece of meat, so I would rather have a bunch of tiny teeth so that I was capable of chewing, and yeah, so but the thought of it, like visually, is super funny. So thank you for that question. All right, Meg's asked quite a few questions. So I'm gonna go through a couple of the questions that Meg asked, and we'll see which ones we're gonna pick apart out of there. You got really deep with some of these questions. Okay, so one of the first ones I'll ask is, if you had $1 million, what would you do with it? So the first thing I would do, absolutely above anything else, is put money into an account for each of the kids, so that when they, I would make it so that when they were married, that money would become accessible to them as a family. They already have college funds, so I don't really need to worry about the college funding. So I would definitely put together a fund so that they would have access to funds as they got into marriage and older. Then the next thing I would do is buy an RV, which goes to one of the other questions that was asked. But I would definitely purchase an RV. And then after that, I would make sure that we purchased a home that would be our go-to location after traveling. And I think after that, the rest of it would be invested. So, as a child, what was your most embarrassing moment? I don't really know. I didn't really have much of a childhood, so I can't really go back and like look at a lot of the things I did as a child. But if I had to pick one really embarrassing moment, it would be when my sister shaved my eyebrows off. I was about 13, and she had a friend stay over, and when they went, their little bet was whoever fell asleep first would get their eyebrows shaved off. Us other girls, my sisters and I, were not a part of this, but when I fell asleep, my sister shaved my eyebrows off, and I woke up to my first day of going to junior high with no eyebrows. So if I had to say my most embarrassing moment as a child, would be that. Going to school, starting off in a new school with no eyebrows. That's super embarrassing when you think about it. And to this day, they have not grown back properly since. And so I have a really hard time with my eyebrows. Let's see here. My favorite song. And as a matter of fact, I found this song last night, and I cannot believe I hadn't even thought of it in such a long time. But it is one of my top favorite songs, and it would be from White Lion, and it is When the Children Cry by White Lion. And it is an amazing song. It is beautifully written. The words have so much meaning. And then if I had to pick another song like that's more new aged, I would say Invisible by Christina Grimmie. That is one of the recent ones that just came out, and the lyrics in that song hold so much. And it doesn't mean just for what she wrote them for, but to me anyway, in my life, I've always felt invisible to people. I've always felt like I didn't really stand out or counted. And those lyrics say otherwise. And I love that. I think that that's an amazing set of lyrics. So I'm gonna say my second choice in new age music would be Christina Grimmie's Invisible. Okay. So yes, Megs, pertaining to the first question, which was what I would do with the money if I won $1 million, goes into your other question, which was, when the kids are older, do you still plan on getting an RV and traveling the world? Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we have plans for 2018. I'm not gonna get into too much detail, but my graduation date is in that time, and we have several other things in the works. Hopefully it all works out correctly and things will be completed by then, and we'll have my RV that I have been planning for some time now. And yes, I do plan on traveling. That is exactly where my degree is going to take me, and I do plan on using it and utilizing it to the fullest. Ooh, that's a hard one. What is my favorite meal? A food that I could probably eat always and always and always. That's a super hard one, but if I really had to sit down and pick it out, I'd say it has to do with salmon. So a grilled salmon, a baked salmon is top of the line for me. And then something like a side of artichoke, because that is the best. So probably a salmon or baked salmon with an artichoke, and yeah, I think that'd be it. That's, I know, so boring, but hey. And then this one I'll actually do. I wasn't going to do this one only because I didn't want to go into the questions of being a parent or kids, but being a single mother, what is your #1 tip for single moms? Something I did not do and I have done recently is take time for yourself as a single parent. Now, you could be in the boat that I'm in, which is I am a single parent fully on my own, no outside help. So I don't have the kids' father that they could go see. He's not in the picture. Their dad, who is not biologically linked to them, but is my other half, is in hospital with cancer. So I don't have someone else to lean on. I don't have immediate family. I don't have close connections. And so I've always, from jump, have been a single parent. I've raised them on my own. And something I needed to do, and I didn't do earlier on, was absolutely take some time for yourself. Whether that be 15 minutes to take a hot bath, or time to, like, when the kids go to bed, as tired as you feel and as worn out as you feel, take an extra hour before going to bed yourself to spend time with yourself. That is super important, to not lose who you are as just a person. I'm just starting to gain that perspective. I'm just starting to get that part of me back, and I wish I had done it sooner. I had been encouraged by another friend of mine to try to make sure that I took time for myself earlier on, and I didn't. And I would say, as a single parent, if you are a single parent, always, always remember to take time during the day to take care of you. And it's okay. Don't feel guilty if you do take time for you. It is okay to do that. And don't let anybody else tell you any different. It's not selfish. It's not putting your kids on the back burner. It's none of those things that people try to make you feel. It is absolutely necessary to take time for yourself every single day. And that would be my #1 tip. So thank you guys for all your questions. Thank you, Megs, for the amount of questions you sent in. I want to say they all were really good questions. Several of them I didn't answer because they were just a little bit more than I had the information for. So if you guys enjoyed this video, give it that thumbs up, and we'll see you in my next video. Thanks again for watching. Bye.